We finally have our first look at what Epcot's Future World will look like in the next 5 years, but we'll be discussing what's going to be changing within Future World up next. Hi there Waltoners, I'm Jack, this is DSNY Newscast. Go ahead and subscribe down below, hit the notification icon so therefore you can receive updates when DSNY Newscast is released and be the first to watch it, and also subscribe to Universal Newscast for everything to do with Universal Studios news. And with all of that being said, let's get right on to the news. So, at D23 Expo we received some pretty big major announcements, but none were more anticipated than the massive overhaul coming to Epcot ahead of its 40th anniversary in 2022. But let's be honest for a moment. As with Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, which is the new name for Star Wars Land, and Toy Story Land going to be opening over at Disney's Hollywood Studios in the next 2 years, and Pandora, the world of Avatar, opening at Animal Kingdom, Epcot has really started to look like the poor relation within Walt Disney World. But not for long, as Disney are going to be doubling down on the original vision behind Epcot, coupled with even more Disney. And the project itself of the Epcot overhaul is going to be in the safe hands of Tom Fitzgerald as the lead Imagineer pushing this project forward. Now, Disney showed us this piece of concept art at D23 Expo, but they have not released a high-resolution version the same way they did for all the other announcements. But I have managed to find a version and drastically enhance it so that it's a usable image that we can all dive into together and discuss. But bear in mind, before we get to it, this is what we call a blue sky piece of concept art, where it provides an overall vision for what Disney are aiming for, but not every single aspect will make the final cut. As we saw with New Fantasyland in 2009 with this piece of concept art, and then it was scaled back once again with a new piece of concept art in 2011. And furthermore, in 2012 we saw this piece of concept art, which is pretty much what we received when New Fantasyland opened in 2013 and 2014. Now, with all of that out of the way, let's get to how Future World's layout is going to change. As we have heard that this project has been referred to as Project S, which could stand for Project Spine, as this area of Epcot is known within Walt Disney Imagineering as the Spine. So the first thing that we can take away from this concept art is that Innoventions, Mouse Gear, Starbucks, Electric Umbrella and Club Cool will be going, as they do not appear in this artwork whatsoever. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they won't pop up somewhere else. Anyways, the major change here is the sheer amount of walkways and scenic paths that are intertwined with futuristic elements. That will lead you through Future World and then into World Showcase, fixing the sometimes congested and confusing layout for the guest flow around Epcot. And this will be a greener, more tranquil vision of the future, where nature and technology will work hand in hand. But the next thing that really stands out in this concept art is the massive addition of this water feature, which does not fit within the current layout of Future World then into World Showcase, but instead will require some pretty major work to take place, as the connecting bridge does not appear in the concept art, but there will be 2 bridges going toward the Mexico Pavilion instead. And then another small feature of this concept art is that the monorail seems to be illuminated at night and will play a pivotal role within the look of Future World. Then we move on to some smaller things that really stand out within this concept art, and that is that the Seas Pavilion will be getting an overhaul, which is meant to turn the exterior of the building into the Marine Life Institute. The Land Pavilion will be getting a new entrance area and also a maze section as well towards the back. And then there are these smaller buildings which will more than likely be tiny shops and kiosk stands. And then these 2 buildings over towards the east side of Future World might be where Club Cool and Mouse Gear could go. But it's really this building here that's most intriguing, as it seems that you will walk up and around, as it appears to have an inclined walkway leading to an open rooftop area. So maybe this will be a new dining area, which will be a replacement for Club Cool and the electric umbrella instead. Now, if you're wondering how Disney are going to implement all of these changes without making you walk all the way through a construction maze to get into World Showcase, well, it's pretty simple, as they're going to focus on the east section of Future World first with the Universe of Energy, Mission Space and Test Track, and then they'll shift focus to Future World West as part of Phase 2, which will include the seas, the land and also the Imagination Pavilion. Which makes perfect sense as part of their transition plan, with them focusing on Guardians of the Galaxy over at Universe of Energy and Ratatouille on either sides of the park. They will act as pulling factors to get you from one side of the park to another, as when Future World West is in development as part of Phase 2, you will end up walking all the way around World Showcase from east to west only. But now it's over to you, Volcaneers, as I would like to know what you think about this new version of Future World, and what other type of futuristic concepts would you like Disney to include within their new vision of Future World. And don't forget to put the Hidden Mickey timestamp down below with your suggestion to be in with a chance to win one of these DSNY Newscast pins. And also congratulations to Tatiana for winning from the Thursday video. And lastly, it seems that Disney is starting to become a little bit worried about Universal's new Volcano Bay water park and the innovative digital queuing system that they have with the Tapu Tapu bands. As Brian over at skywalkingadventure.com reports that Blizzard Beach in recent weeks have started testing wristbands that act as more of a Fastpass service than a digital queuing system. But this is really intriguing, as it shows us that Disney are definitely conscious and aware of the water park wars that are yet to come within Orlando. And so that's it for this video. So if all of you could go and hit the like button on this video, that would be a massive help. Subscribe if you haven't already. And also, I was on a podcast called the TTA with Rob and Christine of Rob Plays and Ivy Winter, where we discussed all of the D23 Expo announcements in greater depth, and we also had a great time and a laugh doing it. Go ahead and check that podcast out. I'll leave a link in the description box down below. And with all of that being said, I've been Jack, you've been you, and I'll see you real soon.